All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Better Take Podcast. This is episode number 25. I'm your host, Russell Ori, and today we have a super special guest. This is someone that is a social media superstar. I don't like saying that shit because that sounds crazy.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, let's take that back. I take that back. We have a crazy athlete, Tristyn Lee, here with us here in Houston, Texas, on the Better Take Podcast. What's up, bro?
What's going on?
So, I feel like, just got to give you some background information. That's how me and Tristan, I always want to say Christian. Because I don't know anyone named Tristan. Yeah, but how me and Tristan met, I've been following Tristan from social media. Like, we'll talk about it, but he used to be like a ripped, buff-ass soccer player. And he was like 16. It was like one of the biggest things about you. Like, you were young, and you were ripped, and you played soccer. Mm-hmm. So I followed him like, damn, like, this motherfucker is crazy. And then we actually ran into each other at Zoo Culture like 3 years ago, back before like the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And I was really taken away from like your personality because at that time you were already popping, but I liked the way you carried yourself. You were big on like your family, like your brothers, which are they're here with you in Houston too. Mm-hmm. And like you were faith-based and just like you were very calm and just like collected. And I was like, I like that because you had every right to be like, just kind of like I've met influencers or people that have like a lot of followers and I'm just like, dog, like, you've let this kind of get to your head.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So you're here in Houston. 3 H's. That was crazy. Here in Houston, just chilling, right?
Yeah, we're here for just a week. We're just traveling around now, trying to connect with people that we haven't connected with in like 3 years, pretty much, basically since the last time I saw you. So that's kind of what our main thing is right now, just traveling, creating content and stuff. It's a blessing for sure.
Yeah. So you're originally from
Toronto, Canada.
Toronto, Canada. Mm. So like for like context, we already worked out. Like we had like a 2-hour session, crazy session. And just like the way that, cause I've trained with other people before and I'm very picky in particular with who I train with just because some people don't like really take it as serious. Yeah. It's almost like a way to get like a dope ass picture. Yeah. Yeah. So like what kind of got you started with soccer? Because even when I watched you play soccer, like, bro, it looked like physically you were dedicated to your craft already. So I kind of wanted to learn more about your early years in soccer and just like how you transitioned from that.
Yeah, so I started playing soccer when I was 12 or 11 years old. I've always been kind of athletic to a certain degree, but as soon as I went in on something, I went 100% in on it. So I was right into competitive soccer, and then I was overseas playing, and then I was basically trying to take it as far as it could go. So I was trying to go pro in football, soccer, wherever you're based. And I don't know what led me to that really. It was really just my friends that were just like, oh, you should come join a team. Started with that. And then from there, I got into the weight room because I was like, oh, I'm small. Like I was, 4'11" when I started playing soccer. And I was only like 5'3" when I was going against like, 5'10" players. Yeah. And so I needed to build some degree of physicality, which led me into the gym, which my brothers were sort of invested in to a certain extent. And I just fell in love with that. So I'd be training 3 times a day, basically once on the field or twice on the field, and then once in the gym by myself. So I've always had a passion for seeing how far I can take my body, both physically, mentally, and just working towards any sort of goal. So I just have a passion for pushing my own limits, which I'm sure you're this exact same way.
Yeah, but where does that, because you at the time you started soccer when you were 11 to 12. Yeah. And like whenever you started, when I found out about you, you were like 16ish. Yeah. Where did that come from? Was it like,
I think it was my family and my parents. Yeah. Okay. Both of my brothers, having 2 older brothers, definitely pushed me to be a little bit more competitive. Yeah. So we're always working, whether it's from a good place or not, to beat each other, and I think that's helped us all progress in a lot of ways. And then my family's always instilled in me to work as hard as possible at whatever you choose to do, and they've been super supportive in everything I do. So even if it was like, oh, this is maybe not the route that shows the most potential opportunity, as long as I dedicated every single like part of my day or part of my life to whatever I was going to pursue, they were very supportive of me.
Yeah, because fuck, man, I wish like maybe there's a way we could like show like videos of him playing soccer or some shit like that. It was just so abnormal because like I'm like, this guy is so fucking ripped, and then it's like, oh, I'm 16. It's like, all right, bro, like what the fuck? So like, what did your day to day look like at that time?
So when I started playing soccer, I was still in school. Obviously, I was only like 15 years old was when I started the social media thing, and that's when I started really getting into competitive soccer as well. I'd wake up 3:30 in the morning, off to the gym, 4 a.m. I'd train before gym, before school, go to school, come back. I'd usually do some sort of like individual session for soccer where I'd just be working on like footwork training, all this different technical stuff. And then I'd go to my team training later on in the day. So it was basically like front to back, just training, school, training, school work, and then training again with the team.
Damn.
As soon as I went over to Spain when I was 16 years old, when I moved over there for 4 months on my own, it was basically the same thing where I'd have to do schooling online, but I'd wake up 6 a.m. with my team, I'd train with them, find time to go to a gym session by myself, then I'd have a gym session with my team, and then I'd have a scrimmage at night with my team as well. So
what? So
yeah, it'd be like 4 sessions a day.
Damn. So you fuck. So you moved to Spain, right, to play professionally, or was it like?
It wasn't professionally. It was just it was an academy that brought us out there, but the goal was to lead to a contract.
Okay, so it's like a byway. It's like almost like a pathway. It's like, hey, we're gonna build you to be a better soccer player. Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say, like, damn, just by yourself, and like, I'm like, you gotta take care of yourself, or what?
No, I was with an academy at that point. Like we were of course like off the resort and like off like the hotel areas that we were living in. So we're still doing stuff by ourselves, but it was definitely overseen by a lot of like the coaches, the training staff, and all that different stuff. Yeah.
So what brought you to love soccer, like that particular sport? Or football?
I really don't know. Like it was my first thing that I really like, as far as ball sports or like competitive sports against other people, that I could latch onto, that I felt I had any sort of skill in, really. So I think just seeing that potential and being like, oh, I just have like a genuine passion for it, similar to training itself. Like people ask me like what motivates me to stay in the gym every day, and I'm like, I love the process of working towards something. And so it wasn't even necessarily about the sport itself. It was like, okay, I see even if it's like the sliver of an opportunity to move towards something, that's what kind of just pushes me to be like, okay, I gotta take steps to move forward with it.
Yeah. So do you have like any memorable moments from playing soccer, like to where like, because I can tell the way you train now, like for me it's very easy to walk into a gym and watch someone work out or train, and I'm like, that person used to be an athlete for sure. Like, that person is an athlete. They view their training as if they're an athlete. So like, was there a particular time that like there's a memory that kind of sticks in your head that kind of drives you, or is it just you've left soccer behind and it's just kind of like, that's it?
I don't have one particular memory from soccer specifically that drives me with regards to training for bodybuilding stuff. Bodybuilding training is just something that I love. But I do remember like being the only kid to have like to come early to training and leave training last. Like when I was like 12, 13 years old, I would always be the first one to the field, and I always made it one of those like principal things where, you know, I shake the coach's hand. I'm the first, like they see I'm there, I'm grinding towards something. And I don't know if that was something that my parents sort of instilled from me from the start. And I think when I was 13 years old and I was just playing low level soccer at the time, wasn't super competitive. Some coaches recognized that and they gave me props for doing those sort of things. And I think from that, I was like, okay, there's recognition in putting in work even behind the scenes, like even when nobody's watching, because someone could be watching. So even with regards to the gym stuff, I would be in there at 4 a.m. because I know that at some point down the line, this is gonna pay off in some regard.
You're a process guy. Do you know like there's I forgot like the different types of like players or athletes, but you're a process guy. Like you just love the grind. You like pushing towards things. Because I can relate to that. Like with football, like I wasn't particularly like gifted at football. Like I was athletic and like I have a lot of size and strength, or not a lot of size, but a decent amount of strength. And I saw that I could change my body and get a little bit better just from the work. And I didn't view myself as like talented. So I felt as though I needed to do more and more work. And it's kind of like what you said. You don't want to, like, whenever practice would end, I would go and train even more because I'm like, I want to be ahead. And in order to be ahead, I got to do more. So it's very interesting to hear you say, like, even at that age, which is pretty insane, you were so locked in. So you understood that at a young age. And it's just, I feel like with process people, because I'm kind of the same way. Like my parents were very like work based. So I believe you could achieve anything that you want to as long as you work hard for it. But then it's also too, it's like, what drives that? You know what I mean? It's kind of weird.
I really do think it is like an upbringing thing. So either you come from someone or family that's super supportive, or you come from a place where you have to pull yourself up to the point where you're like, okay, if I don't do anything, then I'm not going to be able to make it anywhere. So there's two sides definitely of the spectrum, where it's like, if you have parents who are super supportive, you could either throw in the towel and be like, oh, well, I have the support there and I don't need to work hard. Or you can be like, oh, I'm going to grind, and that's the end of it. Or if you're coming from nothing, you can be like, I only have one shot or one opportunity that maybe I may not even make it. Or you can just give up again. So it's like on both sides of it. But I love the process, man. Like you said something there where it's like you saw the progress that you're making, like when you were training and stuff, and you saw like the changes that you can make just by your own efforts. And that was something that I loved about bodybuilding soccer as well, is that exactly as much work, I saw this so clearly, was that exactly as much work as I put in, I would get out of it. Yeah. Which is very cool.
Yeah. So, okay, with soccer, and this is interesting to me because I feel like with football, like it's almost like a way to kind of fuel that work ethic. Yeah. It's almost like you're just working. Yeah. Soccer is just something you get to work towards. Yeah. What pulled you away from soccer to start doing more of the bodybuilding stuff and like putting yourself more on social media?
So right around the time, I was still playing soccer for a lot of the social media portion up until I was about 17. Okay. Which is like it was like basically around the time that I met you with, just before I turned 18. And it was really the pandemic that made me make the decision to be like, okay, I'm just going to step away. I started to see some growth in social media and stuff. I had a few 100,000 followers, few 100,000 subscribers, starting to get brand deals and stuff, and seeing that I could actually make a living off of it. And I just come back from living in Spain, doing trials in Spain, doing trials in London. And then I got back home and I was like, okay, you know what? I just want to do something for myself and not for this particular goal. And that's when it led me to go to LA, saw the opportunities in LA with regards to the fitness scene and stuff. And at that point, the pandemic happened. I was supposed to sign with Academy in Spain for a year and do university overseas, all that different stuff. But Spain was the hardest to get locked down out of any country pretty much at that point at the start. So that was just like a clear sign from God to be like, okay, this is maybe not the direction for me. And at that point I just went all in on creating content, doing social media, moving to LA essentially for months when I met you, and then months afterwards at the end of 2020 into 2021. So, and then from there it was just everything's kind of been explosive, and it's just been the primary direction.
Yeah, you're booming, bro. It's like, thanks, you know, it's so funny. Like, I mean, obviously I see your posts all the time and stuff, but I really looked at your content because, like, obviously I knew I was going to come talk to you, and I was like, damn, bro, like you've been killing it on Reels. And
thank you, man.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you guys that are listening, like he's at fucking 2.2 million or something like that on Instagram. Yeah. Do you so like with the whole social media thing, do you feel as though you feel driven towards social media, or is it like, because the way that I look at it is like, I don't have any fitness people that I like truly look up to. Yeah. Does that make sense? It's more so like all the athletes that I idolize coming up, those are the ones that motivate me. So like if I really want to get motivated, I'll watch maybe like a video of Kobe or like maybe like a football player or something like that. What drives you in the fitness space and in the bodybuilding space?
So social media was truly something that happened very organically for me. Like I wasn't even the one to take the first video or asked to take the first video that was posted on my platform. Really? So I think that's something that I've always tried to keep in regards to my social media, my page, the content I create, is that I just do the things that I love to do. And if God wants to make it happen, it happens. So just being around my brothers and stuff, we love training. So I'll just post my training, and that's what's always just taken off. I know, like, we've done some things for social media where it's like, oh, this challenge, X challenge, YZ, but that's because like we just like to have fun with it. It's cool to just experiment different things and stuff. And I love being able to just post what I love to do, which is my training content. And it's like you're able to just train for your powerlifting, and you love to do it, and you can post that, and your social media has grown along that. Obviously you do have to put effort into creating the content, but I always say I didn't get into it to become an influencer, right?
Yeah, that's why I feel bad. Like when you start talking about it, I'm like, fuck, man. I introduced this guy as like a social media superstar.
I mean, that's basically all I have up until this point, because I don't really have any accolades when it comes to competing professionally or competitively in regards to any sports. So,
but it's almost like, because I have this like saying that I say in the gym. I was very calm when we were working out, but usually I get like very amped up. Yeah. For me, it's like, I'm not a social media influencer. I'm someone that works out and it just so happens to pop off on social media. Yeah. Like, so it's like, you look at yourself as an athlete first. Like for me, like the social media shit, if it wasn't even here, I'd still be training and like trying to push powerlifting. Yep. So it's very interesting. Like whenever you talk about how, bro, I like training. I just post that shit and then it kind of pops off, which is cool. do you ever feel like you, because you've organically grown to 2.2 million, kind of staying true to you, do you ever feel like there will come a time where you have to like choose between social media and the grind?
Maybe, but everything happens for a reason. So I don't try to force anything in any particular direction. I just trust, and whatever happens. I love social media at this point in time in my life. I may not down the line, and maybe that leads me to working a 9 to 5 or raising a family or living on a farm somewhere in Utah. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I really don't know where it leads to, but I do the things that I enjoy and I have a passion for, and hopefully that motivates and inspires people along the way. I found that having a platform like this, that this big, I can lead people in a certain direction, positive and negative, of course.
Yeah.
So I just try my best to lead by example and doing the things that I love, working towards the things that I love with a passion, and just continuing along the way.
When we trained today, I felt as though, first of all, I liked our training session. It was a little bit iffy just because, like, with the weather, it's kind of tough to get locked
Come to
in.
Texas for it to be windy and cold. I'll go back to Canada. It's probably the same weather.
It's crazy because it's cold here in Texas right now. And we're working at Alphaland. So Alphaland, we're working on Gym 2. Gym 2 is like outdoor and they have the doors open. So it's kind of hard to get a pump. But one of the things that I appreciate whenever we're working out is like when we were lifting, I could tell there was a different level of locked in. Like you were training, which I don't think is very common in the fitness space, which is so weird. Can you kind of talk about the difference between like, I guess like working out for social media than actually training?
Yeah, whenever I go into a session, I like to have thoroughly thought out the session. Like I have a game plan similar to like when I go on a...
Yeah, I don't mean to interrupt you, but like when we started, he had every movement planned out. He's like, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this.
Yeah, but it's like the same as you. You have your bench, like whatever, RPE, like exactly what you want it, because you want to get the most out of whatever it is. So typically when I have a gym session, I'll have it laid out. And then when I have a content session, I'll have the content session laid out. Like if it's content, it's content. If it's training, it's training. Because I love training, and I know that if I'm going in to film a video, like we filmed, but we weren't talking to the cameras the whole time. We were just training as basically as we would if we were off camera. Then if I'm talking to the camera the whole time, then I'm not going to be able to actually put 100% of my mental into the set. If I'm going into a football game or a soccer game, I'm not going to have the mental, or even training for football. Like you want to be completely dialed in. Yeah. I found that like I get the most out of my training, and obviously that leads to the most out of my content down the line, just by purely putting my focus into it. And that's why I'm blessed to have brothers that just capture things along the way, you know?
They were chilling. They weren't even like, I mean, like obviously we were talking here and there, but that wasn't the main emphasis of it. It was like, yo, we're training, because there was parts of the workout where we're locking in, and it's like really grinding through reps. And I appreciated that because, and it's not like a bad thing, but it's definitely different whenever sometimes you train with people and like, I don't think they understand, like there's different levels to like actually training. There's working out, which to me is more so like more leisure, more fun. And then there's training where it's like, no, there's a goal. Like we have like actual set things that we're doing, and it means something. So like, do you think that, because I have a theory about the current state of the fitness industry, I think a lot of people have gotten it backwards. Like they work out to take a picture versus like training, and then you document it kind of after. Yeah, for sure. I think the photo is just, for me, it's just to see the progress I've made along the way. It's not about the photo itself. So, I mean, I'm sure you've had people come up to you and say, oh, how do I be an influencer? Or like, how do I do this and that? And I'm like, I can't tell, like, I honestly can't tell you, because that's not what I've done. That's not what I've strived for. What I've strived for is my passion for training, and then that's kind of fallen along the way. So the photos are purely just a reflection of whatever work you put in behind the scenes. It's not like the photo comes first and then automatically you just get all the training gains that you would if you just had put in the work. So I think you have to have a genuine love for training, though, to be able to like just put the phone down, put the cameras down, put the headphones on, and just lock in like that. Takes a different type of mentality, especially if your business is built around social media and stuff. You know what I mean? And I think also too, like you being an athlete, because I don't think being an athlete ever really leaves you. I hate saying like whenever people like I hate saying like, oh, you used to be an athlete. It's like, nah, bro, I'm still. I still. Well, I mean, you're actually an athlete. Like you compete at the world championships. Yeah, but still, I still think like. It's almost like athletes like a mentality. I like to think of athletes sometimes as mentality, especially if you've come from it. So I don't think if you've been like forged in it, I think it stays with you, especially if you uphold the respect that it takes to be an athlete.
For sure.
So like, I feel like quote unquote former athletes like that played football and stuff, if they still practice those like disciplines in terms of like, I still train like an athlete, I just don't actually play, I think you could kind of, I think so.
You can put it in your bio on Instagram, athlete.
Huh?
You can put athlete in your bio.
It doesn't bother me, but I think it's very interesting when people do that. But coming from the athletic background, do you think that a lot of people would benefit from like maybe having an athletic discipline?
Yeah, for sure. I think the personal accountability is the number one thing. Like a lot of people don't have that. And so if you take anybody who's serious about any craft, even if it is school, I think a lot of them have the same standards where they uphold themselves to a certain standard that athletes do. The athletes, they say, I need to perform at this level.
Yeah.
And so if you set that standard for yourself and you're able to keep that accountability, it definitely does transfer over into every area of life. So if you're an athlete when you're young and you're raised to be like, I need to perform, then that's definitely going to benefit you when it comes into the gym and training. Yeah.
And so with that being said, I mean, you train hard as shit, right? And you kept saying like, I can't consider myself a bodybuilder because, I haven't competed yet.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans on like kind of like going that route?
Yeah.
Because your work ethic alone, like it's like, there has to be I know people like you, there has to be like not like a goal, but almost like something like at the end of the tunnel where it's like, I could push hard as hell because I know that I want to get to that point.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, first off, I do want to compete. Okay. Next year, I want to compete because as soon as I stopped playing soccer, I lost that vision of like, I need to be working towards something.
Yeah.
And I need that kick. Like, and it's one thing to be training by yourself and competing against yourself or battling the man in the mirror. But as soon as you go up against other people and you're an athlete and you've experienced this, it's a different mentality. It's a different story.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I've always disliked, I'm battling myself because I'm like, bro, if you train every day, like you're gonna get better. Like, if you're doing if like people like us, I feel like you're gonna train hard. So like, of course, like, duh, you're gonna beat the person in the mirror. Like that's easy. That's like almost like a prerequisite.
Yeah.
Like, so sorry.
Yeah, for sure. And so next year, if I can get on stage and prove to myself that I'm like, I guess, built to a standard that I genuinely believe I am, that's something that's very exciting to me.
Yeah. That's cool. Like, do you know what division you want to actually?
Classic, yeah. Classic.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't think I could do physique. I don't know.
Why?
Just not showing your legs just seems like a waste.
Oh, class. I'm tripping.
You're not in the bodybuilding.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking. I'm almost thinking like open. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I feel like so class. Classic is perfect. I feel like for me, in my personal opinion, I always thought that. What's so funny? Izzy's like laughing. No, I'm just thinking because like I personally think that classic physique is like the best. Like I think it's like a perfect category because it's a mashup of mass and aesthetic and flow. Yeah. Whereas like open bodybuilding, it's amazing because I think like just even getting that big.
Yeah, it's definitely like freak factor versus what's like golden era aesthetics or whatever. Yeah.
So with that being said too, you've had the opportunity, because I was looking through your page, you've had the opportunity of training with some high level competitors and just like athletes. What are some things like that you've picked up from those athletes and applied to your own training?
So it's difficult to pinpoint because I hate getting into like the bodybuilding little sciencey things. That's just not really something, like I think you can learn something from pretty much everyone.
Sure.
But all of these guys are always like learning and changing their styles of training consistently. Like the ones that are stuck in their ways and aren't changing tend to have difficulty adapting to the new criterias of judging and stuff. So all the bodybuilders that we trained with, from Breon Ainsley, who's like 2-time classic physique Mr. Olympia, to just recently Derek Lunsford, who just won the 2023 Open Mr. Olympia. It's like these guys are always learning new things and perfecting their craft. So if I can take from that and just learn to learn, that's the best thing that I've learned along the way. So I mean, from a bodybuilding perspective, I've always trained very methodically, and I guess you kind of saw that in like the layout of the approach. But from start to finish, like from 13 years old to 21 years old, what I've changed in my training is really minutia, and it does make a difference as soon as you get to like the competitive level. But the same principles apply, like slow eccentrics, controlling the weight, lifting, trying to progressively overload, and then the rest comes down to sleep, nutrition, hydration, all the other aspects that affect your training.
What's like something, because I saw that you were with Rough Diesel as well. Yeah. What's something that you picked up from him? Because I actually watched one of his posing videos. I think he has like a basic, like how to like make your basic posing look a lot more aesthetic and flowy. What's like some things that you picked up from him?
Well, he's just a dancer, man. Like I don't understand how someone moves their body that smoothly and just flows like that. He's extremely methodical with his training, and he's also very I don't know if Zen's the word, but he doesn't put on at all for cameras, for shows. Like he's really about just lifting smart, training hard, and not doing things that don't need to be done. So though, like I've always respected him in regards to like his approach to bodybuilding and like really crafting a physique rather than just, I don't know, I'm just gonna go in and throw weight around, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Is there anyone that you want to work out with that you haven't had the opportunity to?
In the fitness world, I mean, I'm not sure. I never really had like sort of those people that I really love to work out to. Callum Von Moger was someone that I always
super OG.
Like I always looked up to him when I started getting into it. That was like probably the only person that I really like watched his old training videos back at Gold's Venice, and like it inspired me to be like, oh, I want to go there and train and do all these different things. So he's probably the only person that I'd just love to like just lift and like see what he's like, because he's been through it all too. It's cool.
Bro, I remember when he was Chris Bumstead before Chris Bumstead.
I mean, he was training with Chris Bumstead.
Damn, man. Because I remember Chris Bumstead before he popped for real. I remember he used to I used to watch some of his stuff. But yeah, man, call him I used to watch his stuff on bodybuilding.com sometimes, and then obviously I think he used to post on YouTube just raw training videos.
Him and Frank McGrath and all those guys. I
used to watch some of their arm days. I think his biggest thing was his biceps and his arms. Huge ass arms.
And they play that Thompson music, and it's just so iconic, man. I loved it.
Yeah, man, it's so crazy because I feel like there's so many different waves of people have their moments. You know, I can call him had a big moment. Do you, so with social media, do you push hard on TikTok and the other ones? Because I know you're big on Instagram.
So I mean, what's cool about social media now is we spoke about this earlier, is that a lot of things can be repurposed. So for my TikTok platform has pretty much just grown by me posting my Instagram reels or my Instagram videos or training videos, just with a different audio and music or whatever. YouTube, I've been consistently working at since the beginning. I made it a goal. I knew Instagram and YouTube seemed to be the main platforms where if you can carry over both, then you have more, I guess, pull in gaining a name or traction in the community, which was cool. So YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and then we talked about Snapchat's just wild now. So
I wanted to get more into that because do you have different methods on how you post? We kind of talked about it a little bit because I don't think people realize there's certain things that work on Instagram that do not work on TikTok. So for example, there's that one post. I'm not sure if you I mean, I don't think you're on Twitter or anything like that, right?
I mean, I'm on it, but I don't use it.
Yeah. So there's this one guy that posted, how Get Ready with Me's are super popular on TikTok. He posted it on, I think he posted on Twitter, or it made its way to Twitter somehow. And people were killing him, saying this is so whack, X, Y, and Z. But on TikTok, maybe it did really well, you know, but it just doesn't transfer to each platform. Do you have a method of okay, I'm gonna post on Instagram and then I'm gonna do something different for maybe YouTube? Or
YouTube is always different, but my Instagram's been pretty raw. You'll notice if you scroll through my Instagram, it's literally just photos of me training with people or photos of me posing, as stupid as that seems. It's a bodybuilding thing, but
I saw one reel. It was literally just you fucking cranking out 120s. And I'm man, I wish I could do that shit.
It's cool. It's very I mean, it's so fun to me because I can just be I'll just post a video of me pressing 120s and it does well. I have no explanation. I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I don't know why people follow me.
No, I know. Why.
I don't know why people follow me. I
can tell you why, bro. You're lean as shit.
I was. Now I'm not anymore because I'm bulking. But
you have I don't know. I'm like looking through. Let me look through it again, because like when I look through it, it's just eye popping to me personally. I think like you have like really good. Yeah, here we go. It just looks insane. It looks abnormal, bro. I don't know. It's like a wow factor. Yeah, there's just like a wow factor. You're like, bro, this guy is. Come on, dog. Like. I don't know. That just looks
like I don't know. I don't understand. It's just a photo. Like,
I mean,
it looks like nothing to me. I don't
know. I feel like some people post photos and then like you post like works of art. Like I don't know. It just looks different.
I appreciate that.
But also too, the camera quality is really good.
It's all in the cameras. Yeah, 100%.
No, man. I think you're doing a really good job, dog.
Thank you, man. And
this isn't just a picture, bro. Come on, man. People aren't looking like this. By the way, you've gotten so much bigger, man. Jesus.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I've actually been eating food, so that's good.
Were you not before? Like,
no, I mean, not to grow. Like, I was never starving. I mean, based on how lean I was starving. Like, but I mean, I've heard about people eating like crazy. I hear people on like 900 calories a day, and I'm like, lowest I got was 1,800, and that was getting down to 4% body fat. So, and I only weighed 140 pounds. I've gained like 30 pounds since then.
Why would that's another question. Why would you be so lean all the time?
I mean, I think I just got caught up. That's why I said, like, when I stopped playing soccer, I didn't have any vision or goal, and I was kind of just like, this is all I have. Like, all I have is training, and then getting lean was sort of just part of it. Like, I liked the aesthetic. It's literally like body dysmorphia or any of this stuff is just mental illness. Like, you don't, you're just not thinking clearly. So when I was in it, I wasn't really thinking, oh, I got to do this or I got to do that, or like, I got to keep it up for social media. Like, people say, do you got to keep it up for social? I was literally just in such a routine of doing so many things, like eating this number of calories, doing this amount of cardio, doing this amount of steps, training this amount of time, and then getting lean was just part of it.
Yeah.
And so, like, coming out of it, obviously, like, hindsight's 2020, I can see very clearly where I needed to make adjustments, and I've made those adjustments, and now it's like, holy shit, like, I can actually improve my training. That's cool.
Yeah.
But looking back on it, it's not like it was one thing driving me towards constantly chasing that. It's just part
just kind of like happened by chance.
Kind of just happened. Like, I've always been lean, so it's not.
Because I remember when I was playing football and I transitioned out of football, like, I got so lean.
Yeah.
But it's like there was just nothing, like, there's nothing to like directly drive my competitive like.
It's like, where to next?
Yeah, where to next? I'm like, all right, well, I'll restrict my eating and like just kind of get super lean. And I remember I'd just like run around and like lessen my calories a lot, and I would start seeing more and more muscle. Yeah, and I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I guess I'm doing something cool. But then after a while, I started bulking back up and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Did you deal with like any like crazy body dysmorphia, like whenever you started gaining a little bit, or?
As soon as I think. The athlete mentality for me is, as soon as I have a plan, I'll execute the plan. So my biggest thing was I reversed from like 1,800 calories to 3,600 calories, but I was eating carnivore diet at the time, which, like, it's so hard to get fat eating just protein, man. Like, it's like almost impossible to get fat eating just protein. And so I increased my calories, but because I didn't have the clear plan of like, okay, I need to actually gain weight. Like, I need to gain weight. If I'm at 4% body fat, you need to gain like fat too. Like, you can't just basically increase your food. If you're staying just as lean, you just got to increase your food more. Like, bro, looking back on it, it's so clear now, right? But anyways, I as I came out of it and I had the plan, initially I was a little bit hesitant, and I think subconsciously I would do things to be like, oh, I'm gonna increase my activity a little bit or whatever to kind of like counterbalance. Like, that's just an eating disorder mind, right? Or distorted eating mind. I don't like labeling it as an eating disorder. So there were some small things, but then as soon as I got past a certain point, I don't know what, it's like a switch literally flipped in my head. I was like, whatever, like, I just gotta work towards something and just keep making progress. Yeah.
Damn, man, I feel like, because like you see a lot of people, like, whenever they're that lean, because it's like almost like the show prep stuff. Like, you get the post-show blues, I think, or something like that, to where like you get out of a show and then like you start gaining a little bit, and then you're so used to being lean, you assume that you're fat, but then like in reality you're still like super fit.
Is there like a powerlifting equivalent to that?
Oh yeah,
with numbers.
Oh like, yeah, for sure. It's like so when you come out of a meet, you feel kind of like, okay, so like the way that I like to think about it is, you have a meet coming up, right? And you put all your energy into that meet, and for me, I'm a process guy. So you put all your energy into that meat, you do the meat, and then you just kind of like, okay, what's next?
Yeah, even if you win, you're still like,
you're just kind of like, what's next? And then on top of that, you're peaking your body to be, it's almost like climbing a mountain. You're peaking your body, you reach the mountain, and then like literally like all your strength like goes away if you peak properly. So when you get back into the gym, weights that you were smashing feel heavy. So you're just kind of like, I'm gonna be weak for the next fucking like month or two, and like a lot of your posts on social media is dictated by like how much weight you're lifting. So when your numbers are down like that, you just kind of feel almost depressed. And I don't know, like maybe physically too. Like I mean, not physically, but like it kind of just plays into the mental aspect of it. It's like your body just feels like super fatigued, and it kind of blends into you feeling like trash. But a lot of powerlifters go through it. But with bodybuilding, I feel like it's a lot more intense because
I think the difference is that bodybuilding, you're actively killing yourself to get down to unhealthy body fat percentages versus powerlifting. It's like, yeah, you might be weaker, but you're not like dying. Unless you're like, I guess, legitimately like cutting weight like crazy. But still, it's like, I guess bodybuilding is like prolonged periods of staying lean is not obviously good for you. So I think, to anybody who's in social media, because I know a lot of kids are in social media and there's a lot of influencers out there that are like, should I bulk? Should I cut? Or they're just not fully committed to it. It's like, you only have your life once and you only have your health once. So don't like just keep making these justifications of like, oh, when I get this lean or when I get this number of followers, or because you think you're going to get this number of followers from being lean. Like don't justify ruining your health, your happiness, whatever it is, just through that sort of stuff. It's just not worth it.
I think people see like the lean part of it, but they don't understand like all the baggage that comes with. Like, I'm talking about like let's say like you're probably like you're a 4% back then. You like that, you can't eat with your family. Like you can't do like typical things. It's like, hey, like we have dinner ready, you come sit with the family and eat. And it's like, you're kind of over here eating.
You got my Tupperware or whatever.
Or like maybe you have like a mealtime. You're like, oh, I can't eat like at this particular moment. But you mentioned the carnivore diet. Can you explain to the people exactly what the carnivore diet is?
So carnivore diet is essentially meat and water. Well, and salt, I guess. And so I did that for 2 years. I did keto. Keto for 4 or 5 years maybe. So 13 to 20 basically I was keto and then carnivore. Carnivore is just the more restrictive version of keto essentially. It's still high fat, low carb or no carb.
And the keto is just high fat, no carb protein.
Moderate protein, So carnivore diet is probably the most extreme version of restrictive dieting in the sense that you're cutting out all foods other than meat. So I was having steak and eggs for like a lot of my meals, some salmon, like those sort of things, right? But that was pretty much all my meals for 2 years. And I honestly felt good. And I think you can live a healthy life just eating those sort of things. Now, whether or not you choose to, that's your decision. Like, I don't know if you could eat just steak and eggs the whole time. I was honestly fine with it. Like, it tasted fine to me. It's by no means necessary to lose weight or get into a good body composition, but a lot of people who have autoimmune issues, who have excessive inflammation, who have just health issues in general, have seen great success through it. So it's not the only way to Rome or whatever, but it's definitely a good way for a lot of people to see what the issue is before reintroducing other foods.
Bruh. Steak and eggs like for 2 years straight, basically?
Yeah, basically.
How did that, like, how were your energy levels with that? Like, did it...
Good. Yeah, like, good. I mean, as long as you're eating enough food, your energy levels are good. But then as soon as you get down to 4% body fat, it's kind of hard.
Yeah, it's never going to be good. Because I wonder, like, I mean, before you transition into a carnivore diet, was there, like, a transition from, like, your body getting used to just only eating protein and, like, having no carbs? Or like...
So it was a slow transition because I was 13 years old when I started ketogenic diet. My mom initially did it to lose weight, and I was doing some research. As a 13-year-old kid, why am I doing?
That's what I'm saying. This is stupid. Crazy. I'm like, damn, you have like the wherewithal to be like, I'm gonna research keto and do this at like 13.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just because I was surrounded by it with my family and stuff. So
is your like parents like bodybuilders or like?
No, they're not bodybuilders. But I mean, my dad claims that he used to be a bodybuilder, but so does every other dad, right?
So they're like, are they super health conscious or like?
They're rather health conscious. My dad's not like, he's not on any sort of diet or anything, but he's aware of it and he's active and fit and healthy and stuff. So, and then my mom's the same way. She's on a ketogenic diet, but she's not a psychopath by any means about her like health or training or anything. Just just tries to live a healthy life. But for me, it was always performance based. So I saw studies on, maybe fat's a good fuel source for endurance athletes. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll just try it for a little bit. And I read about, there's an adaptation period between eating carbs and not eating carbs. So I did it for 2 months, felt great, continued it on for 4 years. Felt great, made good progress in the gym. Like you can basically see, it's cool because you can see like all the progress through like basically 14 till now on my social media and stuff. And so I figured like, it works for me. Keto to carnivore was an easy switch. I just don't like vegetables. Like
really?
Basically, I'm not against vegetables, but I'm not going to the
you're not like
going out of my way to I need vegetables, but so I just found my digestion was better on lower fiber in general, and even now that I've like added in carbs and stuff, I'm more of like a fast digesting carb, just lower fiber and stuff. I just find my digestion's better overall, so that transition was pretty smooth. It was just don't eat the vegetables and increase your fats and proteins.
Yeah, man, this is messing me up.
Yeah,
but I feel like it's starting to make sense why you're so like ripped and jacked at such a young age, man. Whenever I see people that do keto, they're always shredded.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's so easy to not eat. It's almost bad. Well, that's my point, is that like in order to get out of that excessively lean state, I was having so much protein and so much fat that either if I increased my fat, my digestion would have been completely destroyed, and if I increased my protein, I just couldn't eat any more protein. So I had to add in some sort of carbs and stuff to.
What would like your meals be for the day? Like breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Yeah, it'd just be 3 meals: steak and eggs, or bacon and eggs, or salmon and steak. Like it'd just be switching, like mix and matching, basically protein sources. Yeah, I know. Even now looking at it, I'm like, it's kind of weird, but
steak and eggs in the morning is kind of fire though.
Yeah, no, it's good. Like I've never turned down a good steak. I don't know if you don't like steak, then I don't know. I don't know if I can be friends with you.
Yeah,
but
like that's fire. I'm just thinking, I'm like, damn. And then again, like low key, like again, like steak and eggs at lunch.
Yeah,
like.
Yeah. Shit. And people are like, damn, that's so expensive. But I mean, we did like ground beef a lot of the time, and eggs. If you become friends with like your like local farmer, it's easy to get cheap eggs and stuff. So you find a way.
Where did you live out in, because you're Canadian?
Yeah.
Where in Canada are you from?
Toronto, Ontario. It's East Coast, but like we lived outside of Toronto, so it's like just a small.
I'm only asking because you said like you just go to your local farmer. Like,
it was like a small town outside of Toronto, and so like as soon as we started doing carnivore and we're ordering like 100 pounds of ground beef at a time, like it's probably smart to just not buy this from like our local store.
Wait.
Well, there's three of us in a household, and we're having like I was going through like 3 to 4 pounds of meat a day basically by the end of like my ball.
Bro, you said it so casually, and I'm like listening intently. I'm like, wait. Would you guys literally buy like hundreds of?
Like we get 100 pounds of like ground beef at once, or like and then like steaks and stuff we just buy more scarcely, so much more expensive.
I mean, shit.
And then like 12 dozen eggs, just.
Bro, you're saying it so casual, but I'm just thinking about the crib, like. Brought by one.
Yeah, we just gotta like walk out to the garage, just a cow hanging.
Oh my god! Wait, for real?
No. Oh. we did like think about like, we could just buy a cow; it'd be cheaper. Like,
yeah. Damn, man. What the hell?
What's your diet like though? Is it? I mean,
it's just normal. Like, no, it's definitely not. It's just like it's typical. I mean, it's kind of like what you do. I mean, obviously, I have like my breakfast-based foods. Yeah. So like maybe breakfast. I mean, I actually don't eat breakfast really because I train fasted. Yeah. I just find my energy levels are better like that. Yeah. Like today, I had food inside of me and I wasn't like tired, but I just typically you spoke about. I like waking up early in the morning and training just to my energy levels. My diet's pretty simple, bro. I just feel like some type of protein, whether it be steak, chicken, and then carbs like rice or maybe potatoes or sweet potatoes.
So you're simple with it.
Yeah, very simple. And then some veggies. I don't get too freaky with it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I could eat the same thing every day. Like I really don't care. I just whatever makes me feel good so I can train well in the afternoon or whatever in the mornings, I'm good.
For example, like I ate 2 chicken wraps yesterday. Yeah. Like I could have did it for all 3 meals if I really wanted to, but I just didn't run through all my chicken wraps in one day. Yeah. But I want to talk about more of your family because I feel like your family is like really, really important to you.
For sure.
what was growing up with do you only have 3 brothers, or
I have 2 brothers, 2 older brothers.
Three of you guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so like what was like growing up together with them?
We did every single thing together. Like from day one. I was 7 years old when I got a snowboard, and we'd be at the snowboard hills. Like that was my first passion. Initially I was like, I want to be a pro snowboarder. Yeah. And then next year, my brother's skateboarding out, like doing trips to like New York and all this stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be a pro skateboarder. So I went to skateboarding, and I was like sending like my like tapes to like local skate shops, all this stuff, longboarding. And so we've literally done everything together since day one. We'd be out every single day snowboarding, every single day skateboarding, every single day longboarding. And then when we found the gym, and we're all just 100% into it. I feel like it's so rare to have a family that's like that, to have passions for every single thing, to do every single thing together. So to this day, we travel all around together, and it's a true blessing, man, because I would not have it any other way. Like people say, don't get into business with your family, don't do this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I have to wake up tomorrow next to that person. So we're going to figure out whatever we got to figure out. But I know that if like they have my back in anything that I do, so it's a true blessing, man. Yeah,
that's so dope, because like I think that was like one of the first things I noticed about you whenever we first met. It was like I don't think I met your oldest brother, or wait,
yeah, my oldest brother.
He's your oldest brother.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I think I met him, and then but the middle brother I didn't meet.
Oh, sorry, you met my middle brother. You didn't meet my oldest brother.
Okay. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. So I was like, I mean, you guys were like locked in, and I was like, damn, like that's your brother, and you're like, yeah. I'm like, I mean, you guys look alike, so yeah, okay. But it's I don't think, I mean, maybe as you're getting older, you realize now it's very abnormal to literally have like your siblings with you all the time. Yeah. So I mean, like it's almost like a kudos. Like I think it's a beautiful thing, like to be able to like. You look across and it's like, no, that's not my friend, bro. That's like my actual blood. That's my brother. Like he knows me like from birth all the way to that point.
I think them being the 2 older brothers too, it's like literally since day one, they've been there.
Do you guys ever get in fights at all?
Oh yeah, man.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, we're like, every single thing, picking out Airbnb properties, where we're going to next, where we're traveling, what food we're getting, like all this different stuff. Like we'll fight about everything, but it is what it is. Yeah. I spent 21 years dealing with it, so I'm just... It's like, I'm sure with a lot of families, it's like this. Each person or each brother or sibling has kind of like their characteristics, and then it all balances out. There's just this like this yin and yang thing.
Yeah, it's cool though, because like you guys are all invested into what you guys are doing. So like we were filming today and working out, and like your brothers were filming. One guy was like having the professional camera, the other guy was on the phone. Yeah, like. What conversations you guys have about like what each person's role is when it comes to this?
So I think there's a mutual understanding that everybody needs to be working. Yeah. And that's like the biggest thing, is because if anyone else is slipping, then the other person's like, oh shit, maybe I got to pick it up. And it could go out the other way, where it's like if one person's slacking, then everybody's slacking, but it's just not that way. So with regards to roles and stuff, when you're starting a business, I'm sure you know, because you've started multiple businesses, is like at the start, everybody's doing everything. Like everybody needs to just figure out what needs to get done and get it done. You kind of just put a chokehold on everything together. And then like as we've gone through it, we're like, okay, well maybe Braden's better, which my oldest brother is better at holding the camera, or maybe Tyler's better at editing, or maybe I'm better at editing. And so like we've kind of just delegated tasks like that along the way. And then when it came to like building our company, it was a similar situation where it was like we all kind of just started together building it out, and it's like, okay, well this person's better at handling customer service, this person's better just like working with like product development or whatever it is, and it just all kind of plays out.
Yeah. So like with your parents, like what was the conversation? Because I mean, you have super supportive parents, I'm assuming. What was the conversation from like, because it wasn't just you that invested into this thing, it's like your brothers as well. Yeah. So what was the conversation from switching from soccer to social media, and then like bringing your brothers along with you to do so?
Yeah. So social media, switching from soccer to social media wasn't really a super tough decision for them, because neither of them were highly invested in soccer in particular. It's just they like seeing me driven towards something, and so they saw like that the social media was kind of starting to pop off, and like looking back on it, I'm like most parents don't understand social media.
Yeah, bro. Because I'm thinking about the conversation I had to have with my parents.
Yeah, and they just don't. It just seemed like get a normal job.
Yeah.
especially like coming from like my dad's Asian, but he's the most white Asian person I know. So but like Asian households generally will be like very like just normal mainstream kind of go to school route, and this is just the complete opposite. So switching from soccer to social media was easy because there's already some sort of leeway, like coming, like my platform was building and I was getting brand deals and stuff. And I think the bigger thing was when I was 15 years old, and this is when I knew, like, I had my parents' support 100%. When I was 15 years old and they sent me off to Spain alone, basically, like, obviously I was with people. I'm like, if I was a parent, I would never do that for my kid. So I just knew that with whatever I do, they fully 100% support me. And I think that gave me a lot of confidence in myself and what I was doing, to be like, okay, well, I have my parents' support no matter what, no matter if I fall, if I fail. But I also want to do my best to make the most out of the opportunities that I've been blessed with.
Yeah. So then when it came with your brothers too, like were your brothers doing separate things, or were you guys fully invested into what you were doing?
So my oldest brother was in school, and he was like, man, like I kind of want to just do what like Tristyn's doing. Like I want to kind of just go, like it's cool. Like, and so he came back, started filming content for us, and like my middle brother was still in high school and stuff. He made the decision, you know what, maybe I'm going to take a leap year or gap year or whatever, right? But between high school and university. And so from there it was like, okay, we moved to LA, ended up spending like 6 months the first stint in LA, then like went back for another 3 months, then went back for 8 months, and it was just like, we're all in at this point. So
man, because I'm thinking that's foreign. Because like I'm thinking, like when I made that decision for myself, like it was almost like my parents are amazing. They support me, and it's like they were doing everything they could to kind of keep me going. But with my siblings, it's kind of like you kind of doing that off.
They're doing their thing.
Yeah. So it's like they went to school, obviously, and it's like I have the support from my parents, but like it wasn't like a thought process of like, oh, my siblings want to kind of like come with me and like help me and add to what I'm doing. Yeah. So that's like a really cool thing you want to embark on this thing, and your brother's like, bro, let's do this together. Let's all come together. And that's, man.
I think from day one it's been like that though. Like we'd be on the snowboard slopes and it'd be like, we're in the train park. I don't know if you do any board sports or anything, but it's like
I got a concussion like someone was snowboarding.
Yeah, but like I'm sure you've seen like pro snowboarders, like they go off rails and jumps and stuff, and it was like, you got to do it because I'm gonna do it. So it's like we've always had this thing where it's like, you just got to do it, and like we just support each other. So like you're saying, it's foreign to you to see this sort of thing. It's completely foreign to me to have it any other way, because since day one it's been like this. So yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man. I feel like there are certain things in life that like I envy in a certain sense. It's like, damn, like I wish like sometimes I wish that there was a opportunity to like come together as like a family, really. But it's so foreign to me that like I don't even know what that feels like for real. I'm thankful for my parents, because my parents are very like, hey, we're gonna support you and build you up, and like you could do whatever you want to do. But the added element of like having your siblings on board with you is,
I know, it's wild, man. I don't know. Everything feels like a dream to me. I'm so blessed in every single thing that I do. Like it's crazy, man.
So also too, I've noticed that, I mean, you mentioned God a couple of times, like how big of an impact was religion in your household, and how much was it pushed, and like how did you find your faith?
So my mother's always been very strongly rooted in her faith. Like we'd say our prayers before our meals. We'd say a prayer every single morning driving to school, like protection over the car, protection over the family, good day, all these different things. And so I think when I was growing up, I was brought up into it. And then as soon as I started experiencing like life for myself as a young adult, when I was like 17, 18 years old, and it wasn't really like anything crazy. Like but I had like pressures of like, okay, I'm starting to make a living for myself or build a business for myself. It was like I needed something to look to outside of just myself. And then going through like what I went through after I came out of the sort of like madness of just running myself into the ground with regards to like training and dieting and just all this stuff, just no real like purpose or passion. I think that's where I literally had to hit like the lowest low and rock bottom for myself personally. And that was the point where I said, I'm giving every single thing to God, because I have nothing else to turn to. Even obviously my family always supported me. They always said that like, oh, we'll support you no matter what. You don't have to do this. You're not pressured to do anything. But even for myself, is like, that's not enough. Like I need something. And then as soon as I felt like legitimately, it's something that is hard to explain to people, but I felt something lifting me up from being at such a low point in my life where I was just felt completely helpless and weak. And that there's no other way of explaining that other than God. So that's when I started to, I guess, build my own relationship with Christ and just start to root my foundation into serving rather than serving him rather than serving myself, feeding on the word every single day, and just trying to be the best, I guess, strive to be like Christ as much as I can, you know?
Yeah. Damn, that was beautifully said, man. I feel like, do you struggle at all with any like the temptations that this industry like kind of has in conjunction with your faith? Because I feel like there can be things that could deter you from your path. Like, have you struggled with anything like that? Or
I think the nature of like fitness and bodybuilding in particular, is that there's a lot of ego and there's a lot of narcissism involved in building your body and shaping your body. And so for me, it's a passion of mine. I think that like God would want me to go towards it, like whatever my passion is. And then other than that, like all I try to do is just serve him as much as possible. So I don't know. Like I've just been so, as much as I'm like social, I'm sheltered to a certain degree with my family. I have such a tight circle that like temptations of like industries and stuff doesn't really affect me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically you're just so locked in, you don't even be seeing it. Like it's like,
yeah. Like I don't even know. I'm gonna be 100%. I don't even know what temptations you're talking about.
So like, have you ever had girls slide in your DMs and all that?
Yeah, but but that's not like, I don't know. That's I'm just very like focused on what I'm doing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, or like maybe, for example, maybe you work out with someone and they're like, oh, like we're about to go out to this, like, I don't know, club or something like that. But then again, you just turned 20. How old are you? 20?
21. But like, 21.
Yeah. What the man?
Because it's 21 here, right? Because it's 19 in Canada.
21 here. I mean, they do have some. They do have some clubs that's like 18 and up, and then you get like a special band. So like, they don't
but it's alcohol, like it's not the same.
Yeah.
Like in Canada, everything's 19, and then in Quebec, it's 18. Oh, okay. So like, I mean, I've kind of already been through it with regards to like that club stuff. Yeah. I just have never drank, I've never smoked, I've never partied much or anything like that. So
that's good. Yeah, because I just feel like with like, especially because bodybuilding, I feel like bodybuilding, maybe the influence isn't as much, right? But when it comes to like the fitness space and like being like a like you have a lot of followers, it's just like there's just so much that can be thrown your way, and it's like I know for me. I don't want to say that on camera. I just feel like for example, oh my gosh, I was talking to a friend at the gym. He will remain nameless. He was talking about. I'm like, yo, I haven't seen it in a minute. Like, I was gonna DM you something, but I couldn't find your Instagram. He's like, oh, I had to delete it. And I'm like, why? He's like, just a lot of temptation on there, man.
Like it's like a dating app or something.
Yeah, I guess like I don't know. I guess you got in trouble or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's good, man.
Do you find there's a lot of temptation with you, or are you just kind of locked in on your goals?
No, I'm pretty locked in. Yeah. I feel like, nah. I mean, I talked about it with I talked about the gym recently. Like, bro, like I don't if it doesn't serve what I have going on at this point, I'm not even interested. Like, I'm generally not interested. Like when it comes to like, just something as simple like negative like friends or behavior or people that have like, if you post a lot of negative stuff on social media, like in terms of just like, I guess like, you know, like negative people that just look at everything as like a downer. Yeah. Like everything's a downer to them. I can't consume that. Like I'll mute friends and unfollow friends that like, that's all they do. I'm like, look, I care about you in this vacuum, but the way that you are and operate on social media, I just can't rock with.
Right.
What else? I just feel, if it doesn't serve me, I'm just off of it. If it pulls from what I have going on, then I won't I won't entertain it. But but you're doing that all around. There's certain things that like I'll break. But for the most part, no, I'm kind of like you. But now that I'm like 28, about to be 29, it's a little bit different for me.
Of course.
Yeah. So it's interesting to see like you have such like discipline at such a young age too.
But I feel like this is the time. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's no other time to do it. Like when I'm older, I'm going to want to like settle down, have a family, have kids and stuff. So like even right now with my goals, I'm just so focused on that. I just don't have headspace for other stuff.
You're the first. I'm trying to think. You're probably the first 21-year-old that you don't feel like a 21-year-old. Like you're very mature.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
So like typically like sometimes when I meet people that are 21, I'm like, oh, that person like carries himself well. Once I actually speak to them, I'm like, okay, I could definitely tell you're 21. But even when I speak to you, I'm like, I can tell you read a lot. Do you read a lot?
Yeah.
Do you read do you read podcasting or something?
Yeah, I do. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I'll read like when there's something of like a lot of interest to me. Then yeah.
Because I don't know, I just feel like when I speak to you, it's like an old soul, or just like you just have a really good understanding of how life is.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, because when we were working out, I'm like, bro, this guy feels like he's my age. Yeah. Like, I'm like, this guy has wisdom.
I don't know. I think it's part of it is just since I've been really young, I've hung out with people that are like older. Yeah. But it's also like people in the social media space. So you'll meet people that are like 26, but they act like 18-year-olds.
Yeah, that's the worst. Oh my gosh, man. There's sometimes I'll meet someone and I'm like, yo, how old are you? Oh, I'm 35. I'm like, oh my God, damn, man. Yeah. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Because I still want to have like a certain youthful energy to me when I'm
which older. You do.
Yeah, but I don't want to be like, I don't want to be like around like I don't want to have like things in common with a 21-year-old. Yeah. It's like a 35-year-old.
I think it's the difference between like immaturity and youthfulness, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's a great way to put it. So like you said you want to step on stage, right? When are you planning to do that?
Hopefully middle of next year. This bodybuilding talk is so boring, man.
Yeah, no, it is. I hate talking about
you probably hate talking about what RPE am I lifting? Like,
bro, I do not talk about. So I don't talk about powerlifting outside of the gym. Yeah. Really, it's very rare. Something crazy has to be happening in the community for me to even speak on it. I tell people once I leave these walls, I'm talking about other stuff. Like I'm more interested in sports. Yeah. Maybe some politics stuff going on, or like pop culture things that you give your take on. But
for sure. Yeah. So next year, middle of next year was the plan around my birthday. So August, which I guess is the 8th month. But that was sort of initially the plan. Now that I've gone into an actual bulk, my first real bulk, because I've been sub 10% body fat since I was like in the womb, basically. I'm starting to be like, okay, well, maybe I should just keep going and just see like how far I can go. But then at the same time, I'm like, okay, it's never going to be enough before I just make the decision to be like, I'm going to be on stage. So as of right now, the plan is August next year. I'm just like getting close to the end of my bulk. I have like 6 or 7 more weeks, and I've been bulking for almost 9 months now. Damn. So yeah. And
I saw that you're eating, how many calories are you up to at this point?
4,500. Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of food. But I don't know.
A lot of food.
Especially because like I was coming from, I don't know, I was 140 pounds or 138 pounds. And now I'm like close to 170.
Damn.
Yeah.
How's the process of getting the food in been like?
I mean, I don't know. I just, like I said, man, like I don't understand. When I'm dieting, I don't feel hungry. And when I'm bulking, I don't feel stuffed. Like, really? If I have a plan there, I just follow the plan.
Damn. Because I remember, man, we talked about the gym briefly, but like when I got put on a bodybuilding meal prep plan, bro, it was hard. Like I remember like
a diet plan.
Like no, like the eating the food. Like,
bulking.
It's crazy because we weren't bulking, but like I don't eat enough. I eat like a bird. Like today, I've had one meal, and I only ate that meal because I had like 2 tacos and a shake. Yeah. Like at like 9 in the morning. Mm-hmm. And it's like 6, and I don't feel like hungry. Really. Yeah. Like I could eat one more meal and be good for the day. Yeah. Which is like pretty crazy. But when I was on that bodybuilding prep stuff, he's like, this is going to be the most food that you've eaten probably ever. So like you have to like start eating early in the morning. Yeah. And like me, I'm just like, don't worry about it. Like, I'm eating more food, no problem. Like I ain't got to worry about it. So I started eating a little bit later in the day, and like it got to like 9 p.m. Yeah, I'm like, bruh, I'm so full. I can't eat another meal. But I had like maybe 2 more meals left, and I had to stuff it down. And it made me realize, okay, you need to start eating at like 6 in the morning. Like literally set an alarm to roll out of bed and eat.
Yeah, or just like have it laid out, like planned out a little bit more methodically, and find the foods that like work for you. They digest quickly, and they don't feel like they stuff you too much and stuff. Yeah.
Damn, man, $4,500. I think at my peak, I think I was eating like maybe like 2,800, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is like not a lot, especially for someone of my size.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's the hardest part about bulking for you, if there's anything that's hard in general?
Assessing progress. I guess it makes it more difficult to assess progress. That's why like it becomes more of a numbers game, chasing numbers in the gym as far as progressive overload and stuff than it does visual changes, unless you're like super experienced, which my coach, who I've been working with for like the past year or so, is very experienced in it. Like obviously, like you were saying, when you got leaner, you're like, oh, I'm doing something right. Like I look more muscular. So as you go the opposite direction and you put on more body fat, it makes it difficult to be like, oh, I'm gaining size here, I'm losing size here. It just completely changes your physique.
It's weird. I've actually never really bulked.
Yeah.
Like actively like bulked. Yeah. So I can't even imagine like, how do you assess progress?
I mean, for me, it was because I was starting from such a low spot. Like I was at 4% body fat. I had so much room to grow. And even now I've gained 30 pounds and I'm like, I wouldn't consider myself fat.
No,
but like, so like
still jacked. What the fuck?
So like, it does make it easier when you're starting from a super lean place to be like.
Do you maybe look at your training like maybe I have more energy to do things, or like maybe I'm pushing heavier weight?
Oh, that's the main thing. I'm pushing heavier weight.
Yeah, you're knocking down them 120s and 130s pretty easily. And almost fucked up my shoulder on the 150s.
On the 150s.
Bro, I did some ego lifting. I was like, man, the 120s feel good. I was like, let me see if I can do the 150s. And like, you're like, do you need any help? I'm like, nah, I got it. Bro, I rolled it back.
One kick.
Yeah, no, literally like that. Bro, my shoulder kind of hurts a little bit, but we're good. We're good, Joey, please.
Don't post that, bro.
Yeah, I was like, I had his brother like holding my phone. I was like, bro, just delete that. Like, he's like, do you want it back? I was like, no, delete.
I'm good.
Yeah. So with I know we jumped off of like the social media thing, but I wanted to get back to TikTok because Snapchat. You said that you recently got onto Snapchat?
I literally just started it because I've been hearing that people are making their livings off of it now. Yeah. And I'm like, well, thanks for keeping me in the loop.
Yeah. It's crazy because like culturally, Snapchat is looked at as kind of like a deviant app.
And it's so separate from everything else.
Yeah. Like Snapchat isn't like really a thing. Like I'm sure there's people that are popping on Snapchat that I've just never heard of.
Right.
That are making like probably like 40, 50, 60. I mean, my friend Ashley Nocera. I don't know if you know who that is.
I know who it is, yeah.
Yeah, she used to be in the fitness space and then she transitioned to just doing like more lifestyle, more
mainstream shit.
Yeah, mainstream stuff. Man, she knows people that are making like $100,000 on Snapchat.
Yeah, like one of my friends, his wife now is just popping on there. Has got like 9 million followers or something, and I'm like, what? Like it doesn't even make sense.
I told you at the gym, but like I deleted Snapchat whenever. This story's crazy. I used to post on Snapchat like back in like 2016ish and 2017. That's why I really started my fitness journey and like documenting on social media. Yeah, and I would post on Snapchat pretty frequently, and. Man, one morning, it was like late at night, 3 in the morning, and I rolled over, opened up my phone on Snapchat, and I saw I had like a DM from somebody, or not a DM, a snap from somebody. And at that time, like I thought that, responding to people would like, kind of keep engagement or whatever. Bro, I rolled over and saw a picture of someone's meat, and they snapped it to me, and I was like, I remember I deleted the app right there. I was like, this isn't
the opposite of temptations.
Yeah, that's complete opposite. And that I just never got back on it. And then I started hearing stories now about how people are like, bro, Snapchat's my main form of content.
Like for the past few years or something, I'm pulling in, I don't know, like 6-7K a day, and I'm like, that's wild to think, because I look at the content and it's just people are taking photos of the ground. Like, how is this? What?
The culture of Snapchat is different. It's like I remember back when I was doing it, it's like, like you take a picture of the ground and you'd be like, check in or something like that, or like tell people like, hey, what's up? And like, you get a bunch of responses, which is like crazy to me. It's just so interesting how like now Snapchat is making a resurgence, because Snapchat, like I said, is looked at as kind of like more of a deviant app where it's like people that are honestly people that are horny like get on Snapchat because it's like once you post something, it's gone forever. Yeah. And it's like it's a way to just
or you think it is.
or you think it is, right? Or it lets you know when people screenshot your stuff. Yeah. So it's just very interesting how people are now killing it.
I didn't even know how to use the app. Like I literally went on the app and I'm like, how do I find anybody? Like you have to know where people are to find, like to like be searching accounts or whatever. And then the other day I post a story and it has like, apparently it's about like thumbnails and stuff. So it's like old YouTube kind of, or like YouTube now even, where you have like all these wild slides and then just a good thumbnail at the end, just the show on the Explore feed. And like the difference between a story that will get 400,000 views and a story that yesterday got like 4 million views is like just whether or not you have a good thumbnail. I'm like, this is literally like YouTube.
What's your typical like thumbnail that you would
like I'll just end on something like a crazy, like I don't know, just like a pump photo or something usually. But
I feel like man,
I posted a few like old selfies of me like when I like just started lifting and I was like stuff like that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like you have a pretty good cheat code, man. Like you have like, bro, you're lean, man.
Thanks, man.
Like whenever like you're like pumped up and stuff like that, it looks insane. So I just feel like you just man, you just post and it's like, yo, God, it's like Tristyn just posted, man. I'm gonna check it out.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, after this conversation, like I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm gonna like invest and study Snapchat now. Yeah. Like I'm gonna re-download it.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
it's another game to play.
Yeah, in the dating world, if you have Snapchat, it's like a red flag.
Yeah,
because it's like, why do you have Snapchat? Who are you snapping? You know?
I mean, I don't use it for anything. Like I don't talk to anybody on it.
Yeah, it's just like literally just business purposes or just like posting your content. Yeah, I'm gonna start doing that, man. I'm gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna post my whole workout because Larry Wheels does that. Yeah, he'll like post. He'll post a session and he'll post like one clip and be like whole workout on Snapchat. Yeah, which is crazy. And you've been able to monetize it now, or
I'm literally just getting monetized because you have to get 25 million story views in a month, which is like, it seemed crazy to me. I was getting like 50,000 views to start, and then like I figured out kind of like, oh, like you just got to end it with a good photo and stuff. Which, again, why does nobody tell me this stuff? Yeah.
So it's like so I see.
Because like the last slide is always the thumbnail that shows up on like For You or whatever, or their Explore feed.
So like maybe, okay, let's say like you have a 20 post kind of like a workout. You're going to make sure that, okay, I'm done posting about this. Let me make sure this last clip is going to be the one that's going to, okay.
Yeah, so like Larry will post his entire workout and then he'll just take a screenshot of like where it says like 405 times 13 or whatever for his like heavy lift. Yeah. And that'll be just the last slide.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm taking the keys and I'm gonna turn the car on and drive away, man. I'm literally gonna download it and I'm gonna take my time studying. I'll probably do it over the weekend because I'm big on like you gotta adapt or you'll die. Like, you like, for example, you talked about it earlier. You literally just kind of lift and then like post that on social media. I'm the same way. Like I do my training sessions and then I find a way to repurpose it for social media. Right. So it's like Instagram is gonna have a certain style of it. TikTok's gonna have a certain style of it, but like you can't be married to just one platform because there's gonna be ups and downs with that platform, and you have to be able to transition to be able to move.
Even this, like like that's so cool, man. I've always wanted, but now I'm like, everybody has a podcast, and I want to have something interesting to say.
You want to have a podcast?
A little bit. I mean, I want to like, I just feel like I need to experience more before I don't know, give my take on things.
Nah. There's people that just be on here yapping, bro.
Exactly, that's my point. I don't want to just be on here.
No. You don't have. That's what I'm saying though. Like, you will have like a jump start because it's like you actually might have things to talk about. Like sometimes I come in here and I just want to shoot the shit with people, like literally just have like cool conversation. But like if you want to take it the route where it's like, no, I want each episode to have value and I want you to be able to walk away with something, bro, you could run a podcast easy. Yeah, just strategically have like certain talking points that you want for an episode. But I think you would kill it. And plus, like, I'm not up on your YouTube as much, but like, so I feel like if you just follow you on Instagram, which you have a lot of followers on, I don't even think people know what you sound like.
Yeah, I mean, I do like I've built my YouTube along the same way, but yeah, I just don't. I don't know. I haven't talked as much as I want to. That's always something that I've always kind of not regretted, but I've always wanted to work on a bit more. But every time I get in front of a camera, I just feel it's awkward.
Weird. Yeah,
like I don't.
So when I was younger, like when I first started doing content, talking used to be like, I remember when I first started posting videos, it would literally just be workout videos. Yeah. Like I wouldn't say anything.
Same, bro. Put some music over it. A little montage.
And then, oh man, the first time ever that I spoke on camera, I remember because I used to watch Bradley Martin a lot, and he used to do those videos in front of Barbell Brigade where he would work out a barbell and then explain the workout that he did right after.
In one take, bro.
Yeah, in like one take, and literally just kind of go through it. And I'm like, man, I want to do stuff like that. Like I want to be able to talk.
Yeah.
And I remember I filmed a video just like I literally used his video as a template. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna film my workout and then talk about the workout after.
Yeah.
You know, it took me like 3 hours.
Yeah, I know. I had that process at the start too, man. It's just nothing ever seems good enough, and then eventually you just have to be like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
And just start posting, and then I mean, obviously now you're extremely fluent in your speech.
Man. It's so hard. You almost have to let go of, because you always want to sound. For me, the issue was my mind would move faster than my mouth. Yeah. So like I would start stuttering, or just like I would catch myself, or I would think that I would say something and like I didn't like the way it came out. So I just learned like, bro, just let it go and talk. Like I'd always want to sound way smarter. It's like, how could I say this in a very, very smart, intelligent way so people take me seriously versus just getting the message out.
I know. Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, I wish I could just record the conversations that I have with people off camera, because like those are always like the best conversations.
It's tough because like when it's, for example, like for people that are watching, like we have lights and 2 cameras rolling, and like sometimes when those come on, it's almost like, oh fuck, like everything I say right now,
perform.
Yeah, it's almost like I need to perform versus like, no, just chill. Yeah, I almost act like they're not there, but I think if you just keep practicing. Do you still struggle with being on camera and talking?
No, I'm pretty comfortable with it now. Okay. I'm more comfortable on other people's videos than I am on my own. But that's just because I'm a perfectionist with my content in general. Yeah. And you've done a really good job of like expanding across all platforms, like your YouTube, your Instagram. Now you said you're kind of focusing on your TikTok a bit more. TikTok is and then crazy. Snapchat coming soon. Yeah, Snapchat coming soon. That's another one I'm gonna have to study and kind of like understand a little bit better. But I feel as though like with the whole talking thing, it's just like, I mean, I'm sure you found that you get better with repetition. Oh, for sure. Like after you just keep talking. And now I'm speaking to like the influencers or people that are aspiring influencers, which is always so weird to me. Like, which I want to talk about because that's very odd. But it's like, if you want to get better at like being in public and talking, just do it. Yeah. Like, which sounds so stupid and oversimplified, but literally you have to practice it over and over again. It's like anything. Yeah. Like I would not force myself, but I would go to the grocery store and like, or go to like public places and bring my camera out, because that's like the most embarrassing. Yeah, I know. It feels awkward, cringe. Yeah, super cringe. The other day I was touring apartments and I literally brought out my camera. And I'm so used to it at this point. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna film something. Well, I think you realize like nobody really cares. Like at the end of the day, they're gonna forget about it 2 hours later or an hour later or whatever. It's just, that's the rule of thumb that I tell people. I'm like, bro, they'll literally forget about it in like maybe like 20-30 minutes. Yeah, it's fine. Like just bring out the camera. Yeah. But what's your take on people that maybe not so much your take, but like, well, actually, what's your take on people that they're going to call out people, or not call out people? Because I'm going to lead into something else with this, but like your take on people, just I guess like their goal is to just be an influencer. Yeah, I mean, I think it's like people who said their goal was to be an entertainer before, right? Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, I think like influencing or social media is the new medium of what news networks or television used to be. So I don't have anything against it. It's just not for me. Like I couldn't imagine getting up every single day and putting on a mask of like trying to perform for a camera so that people think I'm something that I'm not. I'm not saying that everybody's doing that. Yeah, for sure. But like I don't know. I feel like you can get so caught up in chasing trends. And this is something you said, like you have to adapt. But I feel like there's a fine line between adapting and just being authentically yourself, because the people that are going to ride with you are going to ride with you. I'm sure you've known this like from the start. Your true followers and fans are going to mess with whatever you're doing now. Yeah. But if you're constantly just chasing trends, one, you're always going to be below the person who started that trend. Yeah. Which is crazy. You see it with like Mr. Beast, or like with the YouTube content and stuff now, or even more specific to the fitness industry is now Sam Sulek. Sam Sulek is like amazing. Killing it. So good at speaking, so fluent. I don't know how he speaks for an hour or 30 minutes or whatever, just sitting in his car so fluently, so coherently. So my respect goes out to him. But to all these people who are saying bulk day one, like you're just not Sam. Yeah, you're not. You have to find your own style. And this is nothing against the style, because the style is amazing. Yeah. People have been trying to do that content for years, but this guy can speak more fluently than anybody I know within the fitness industry. It's like you really do have to just find your own niche within this influencing world, even if you want to be an influencer.
Yeah.
So
I think it's important too to like distinguish the difference between like adapting and then like changing like who you actually are.
Right.
It's like it's important to understand like, look, you can maintain who you are and what you do. Like so for example, like me and Duhan, right? We love to create cinematic videos, but that just doesn't do well on social media these days because that's not really a thing.
Bro, it's so annoying.
Yeah, it's pretty irritating because it's like we work hard to create this like almost like a work of art.
It's a masterpiece.
Yeah, but it doesn't get appreciated. So what we are going to be doing going forward is like, hey, there's trending sounds on TikTok. We could still get our creative juices off. Yeah. We just have to manipulate we just have to change the sound of it. Like change it to something that we genuinely like, but just something that's trending on TikTok or maybe IG. So we get to have our cake and kind of eat it too a little bit with that. Yeah. But then also too, I want to kind of speak on the community aspect of things because I think a lot of people chase trends and they go viral, but they don't understand like, bro, you got to build a community.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I still struggle with. Like, I don't know, and maybe it's different from the outside, but like, I've built such a massive platform, and I know there's people that are ride or die with me, but I really want to have that thing where it feels like every single person that follows you knows you as a person. And like, we've done multiple meetups now, which is very cool because that kind of shows like the people that like actually ride with you, and those are the sort of things that give you perspective on it. But like, it's so important to be. It's like that the community that you're building or you're influencing, especially because virality it's just a norm now, is actually genuinely messing with you as a person. And riding with you. Like, it's so easy, and I'm sure you've seen this with TikTok. There's so many TikTokers now with 5 million followers, but if they were to walk out in the street, like, I don't know if anybody would recognize them.
Yeah, and it's tough because like,
and that's no shot at them. They're just doing their thing. Like,
it's like you want your videos to be seen by a lot of people, but you also don't want to sacrifice yourself to get seen. Yeah. Because that's not who you are as a person. Yeah. And you also want to make sure, because the way I look at it is at the very core of what I do, I just lift weights. Yeah. Right? But how could I get people? Not like I'm trying to get people to invest in me, but how could I show people different elements of me to kind of keep them entertained, right? So, for example, something as simple as posting that like what shoes that I'm wearing for the day. Yeah. It's simple, but it digs deep for people because like some people literally like shoes and shoe culture is their life.
Bro, I've been posting like energy drinks and people are like, oh, that's sick. Like, like it's wild. It's just little things. Yeah.
Cause like, for example, so like with that, I remember a couple of weeks ago, his name is Audie. Shout out to Audie. He came from Florida to work out at Houston, to work at my gym. And he's like, you know how I found you? I found you because I saw that you like shoes. Yeah. And I saw that you powerlifted and you used to wear them you wear them while you squat. And it made me want to powerlift. And that's what converted me. Because like the shoes, I'm like, really? And there's other people that like, I'll post that I'm watching anime. Yeah. Like, I'm an anime.
Bro, that's so big now. It's
crazy. Huge. I used to get made fun of it in high school and stuff. But now like people will watch my stuff and it's like, oh, you like Naruto too? Yeah. I love Naruto. And it's like, damn, you're a powerlifter? I didn't know people that liked Naruto could be strong too. And then that converts them. So it's like, I think just being yourself and sharing like your actual interest. It's almost like you have such a wide range of interest, and then you bring people in because like you might like a lot of different stuff that people don't even know. Yeah. But if you post about it, then like people are like, oh wow, Tristyn likes this too. Like, wow, I'm gonna fall. Like, I'm more invested in him now. For sure.
Yeah, I always say like lifting weights or bodybuilding is what I do. It's not who I am, right? Yeah. So that sort of thing. Just there's so much more, and in the grand scheme of things, like the powerlifting world, the bodybuilding world, the fitness world is so small. Like it's so tiny compared to everything else. So like it's just one thing that draws people in, and then when they see that they have other things that are like relatable, it's just interesting. You can connect with a lot more people for sure.
Yeah. So we shared like one thing. We've both had a video made about us by a certain individual. Shout out to Greg Ducette. Yeah. I think he's a funny guy.
Yeah, I love Greg.
Yeah. So did you keep up with Greg's videos prior to him calling you out, or?
Greg prior? Yeah, no, I watched. I don't know when the first video he made, bro. Back in 2017, he's friends with, or he used to be friends with, like this bodybuilder that I guess posed with, like the first time I ever even stepped on, like did anything with regards to social media. Like I was literally just at my local gym, and this pro bodybuilder came out to me. He's like, "Yo, you want to guest post at my show?" I'm like, "Oh, sure, I guess so." Yeah. And so I did that, and I posted that on social media, and I scrolled back like last year. I'm like, oh, I'm trying to find this photo, and I see like Greg commented in like 2017. So he's like known about me since like since I was like before social media, basically. Yeah, literally like the first bodybuilding post I pretty much did. So I don't know, like I knew of him. I don't know if I followed him. He kind of like had like a pop off, you know what I mean? Like he found his style, found his rhythm, started posting more content. He's just exploded from that. So yeah, I'm not sure if I knew before he posted any of the videos.
It's crazy because I watched. I thought he was very entertaining. Yeah, I'm not really big on call out culture and
commentary videos, kind of deal.
Commentary videos. I just don't consume that kind of stuff just because it's not in good energy. It's just like kind of negative.
Yeah, I just find that for me personally, and this isn't against anyone that watches it, I just don't find it contributes to what I'm doing.
Exactly right.
Which is like what you're saying with serving.
Yeah, I'm like, whether or not this person is natural or not, or like maybe like investing so much time, this doesn't really help anything. Like I think it's just, to me, I view it as and not like in a mean way. I have like high vibrational things and low vibrational things, right? And I just think that like whenever you consume, or like whenever you consume stuff like that at a very high rate, it's very low vibrational. Yeah. Not like in a negative like way or trying to like throw.
No, he's just doing his thing.
Yeah, and I did find the videos entertaining because he has a very entertaining voice. Yeah. And I looked at it as like almost like entertainment.
Bro, and he found his style. Yeah. Like that's. Yeah. So
how did you feel like whenever? Because I remember how I felt when when I got the video made about me. How did you really feel?
I didn't feel any type of way because I already had like other people making videos about me like my entire like kind of coming up and comments and all this stuff. So it didn't really make a difference. Like I knew Greg, I knew of Greg, and now I know Greg like in person. And like the video is the video. If they make the video, like it really just, my genuine opinion of it is that it just doesn't affect me. Yeah. Like it and I have no negative, like I don't really care. It doesn't.
Have you had any videos kind of like make you be like kind of like down on yourself or like any of that kind of thing?
Yeah, like when I was going through, like when I was coming out of my like shred phase and I was starting to put content out where I was like, okay, like maybe like I didn't do this right, and I was like, this is how I'm gonna like fix it. This is how I'm gonna increase my food. I'm gonna do these sort of things. And then I'd have people making videos saying like Tristyn Lee needs help or whatever. Tristyn Lee has an eating disorder. I'm like, that's not like first of all, like whether or not you think I have an eating disorder or not, that's not your diagnosis to make for me. And it's also not helpful in any particular way. I, from the bottom of my heart, do not believe I had an eating disorder because I don't believe that labeling something like helps in any way, shape, or form. Usually labeling something leads to some sort of medication or some sort of, and that's a whole nother conversation, whatever. And so for me, it was just like why are we like putting this out to the world where now everybody's like he has an eating disorder or this sort of thing, or like, and I just don't like really, like I just don't mess with that. Yeah. Anything else like around like Natty Or Not stuff that I could care less.
Yeah, because I remember like when I first started, I used to get a lot of those, and I remember the first couple of times, like people would be like, "You need to tell the truth. You're lying, X, Y, and Z." And I don't like saying I'm a high character person, but like I don't like people questioning my character.
Yeah, you're gonna stand up for yourself.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, I don't lie. Like I don't do that kind of stuff. So why would you think that I'm lying? And I remember I would go back and forth with people like super early when I first started, and then I realized I'm like, man, these people don't, like, as much as I put out, they don't actually know me and know my character. So it's like, you can have whatever opinion you want about me because you don't know me. Like, it doesn't really matter. It shouldn't affect me as much as I allowed it to affect me. So whenever Greg made that video, I genuinely, like, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like geeked out. I was like, oh my God, he made a video about me. Let me see, like,
dude, I feel that way every time Greg makes a video about me now. Like,
so I'm like, let me hear the funny things he says. So I watched the video. I genuinely, like, I was entertained by it because I'm like, I live in my truth, so I'm not bothered whenever someone has like an opinion, because I'm like, bro, it's is literally not true.
Yeah.
I'm just watching. I'm like, this is funny.
Yeah. And you can have your opinion on whatever you want. It's
exactly.
Like, if you're strong in your like foundation and you know who you are and you know what you stand for, I think that's the biggest thing is that like, I feel like people get upset about other people commenting on them when they're not very firmly rooted in who they are as a person.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like Greg making a video about you, again, I always like prefacing this with, I love Greg and I love his content. It's funny, whatever. Like that doesn't change who you are as a person.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's just his commentary. And I think if you let it bother you and you let it truly get to you, you give that individual power. And it's like, this, I mean, his opinions and his content shouldn't have as much power as it does. Over
and even more so than being like, oh, it gives him power. It's more like, it takes away from like my personal like power to put energy towards other stuff. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And honestly, like, I mean, I made a video. I didn't like respond to him. I just said like, hey man, like, I think the video is entertaining. He can feel how he wants to feel about it. Like, I have nothing to say. Like, if he thinks I'm not natty, I'm not natty to him. But I know the truth, and I don't actively go out trying to prove things to people. I just live, and
you never will though.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, look, if you want to take what I do and it motivates you to be better, that's amazing.
Yeah.
If what I do irritates you and you think that I'm lying about my process or anything like that, that's what you took from it. I can't control what you take from what I put out.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, I have a responsibility in a sense to put it out in a way that's true to me, but I don't really have a responsibility as to how you receive it because
you can't control that.
I can't control that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So like, what's you said that you're cool with Greg now, or like?
Oh yeah, no, I'm cool with Greg. It was cool. It's cool seeing him at the Olympia, man, because he hasn't been in the States in so long. He's always running around filming content and stuff. I have so much respect for like how much content and how much work he puts into his content, man. It's crazy. I could never.
He puts out, I think he was putting like a video a day almost.
Bro, he's been putting out he'd be putting out like multiple videos a day.
Yeah, and I'm like, damn, like where do you find the time to like? I mean, it's your full-time job, but it's like, bro. I mean, we're in the content game, so we understand how tiring and cumbersome it is.
Even like just talking to a camera.
Yes,
it's still like a lot of effort.
It's tough, man. I feel like just even like putting the camera up, setting it up, and then like after that, you have to go record it.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to go edit it and then put it up. It's very interesting, man.
I think he has a team now, but like initially, it must have been
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's really difficult. But with like, do you feel like, as you progress in the space, do you think that maybe like things will change in regards to like how you handle certain things, or because like as you get bigger, right? Do you feel like, well, not do you feel, but as you get bigger, it's going to be more and more of people trying to pull from and deter you from your path. Do you feel like?
I feel like because I've built it off something that doesn't rely on that. There's no need to feed into any of it. So like nothing changes if nothing changes. So like I've been building this platform, and that's why like I know you haven't really talked a lot about like the natural stuff. Like you just haven't in general, right? Like you just don't.
That's not even. Like
and same thing with like, I'm trying to think, like Jeff Nippard. He doesn't really, even though he is like a natural bodybuilder and he's an advocate for natural bodybuilding, like he doesn't jam it down people's throats.
I don't really push it like that.
Yeah. So. And so like for you to just keep lifting and your platform grows and you keep breaking records or winning world championships and your platform grows. Or for me, like I keep bodybuilding, and the platform grows. Like I'm still doing what I love to do. So nothing really changes. It's not like I'm responding to these people and stirring controversy. And like, I hate how social media has become all about how can I comment on this person or comment on that person. Like even with brands are fighting now. It's crazy. I did a post on my story the other day where I was just talking about how now it's, if you win, I lose, even with brands and with people. And it's insanity to me, because initially, like when you start social media, and probably the same for you now, but when I started social media, I had zero focus on anyone else. At all, like whatsoever. To this day, I'll have focus on people that I want to collaborate with. Like I came to lift and train with you. And so like, obviously like I just mess with you and we're just trying to like go lift and stuff. But with regards to like commenting on someone I don't even know, like I just I couldn't care to.
I can't even fix my brain to like think about, like if I have a negative thought about an individual, I just kind of like, I'm like, okay, like I just won't operate in their space. It's fine. But sometimes I don't even understand how people like have the bandwidth.
Yeah,
bro. Care so much because I've blocked people before. I block people because like there's like a consistency of like you're trying to bother me, and it's like, bro, how about this? I'll do us both a favor. I'll just block you.
Yeah.
And I think I did one last week, and like I guess this guy was consistent, bro, like across all platforms, and he's like, oh, Russ, because I normally don't read comments, but I think I was like scrolling and it just like popped up on my thing. And it's like, this guy got so mad that he blocked me on all platforms and what I'm saying must be true, X, Y, and Z. I'm like, no, man, you just negative.
Yeah.
Like, I just
that's what I mean. You're not going to
Yeah, exactly. Win, so it's just like, I don't know. But do you read like comments and all that kind of stuff, or you just post and kind of
I took a break from reading comments for a while because I was just like, just wanted to focus on myself and not get lost in it. Like even positive comments.
Yeah.
Like if you just feed into anything too much and aren't just rooted in like yourself, I think that's what can lead you astray a little bit.
Yeah, because man, it's very rare that I'll go through and read comments. I really just don't. Yeah. I did the same thing too. I used to read every single comment because I would want to respond to everybody. Yeah. To kind of like show appreciation. And like as I've gotten bigger, like obviously like the hate grows in conjunction with that. And it's just like, damn, like I don't like reading through and absorbing like all of these things. Like it's not normal for a human being to absorb all these thoughts about like what they have going on
with people who don't even know you.
Yeah, and it's like I started pulling away from reading comments. If I see a positive comment here and there, I will respond.
For sure.
For the most part now, like I don't actively go to like my YouTube comments. I don't actively go to my IG comments as much. Yeah, I just don't. Like I said, I just try to focus on things that serve me.
Yeah.
And whether or not people think I'm doing a good job or not, at this point, it doesn't really matter as much. I'm just so focused on what I have going on. Like I put up my content.
It's a cool place to be on. Like you're fully in control of that. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a different feeling when you feel like you're a victim or like held to what other people think of you or what they want from you. Even with regards like, I've heard podcasts or streamers talk about this where they're like sitting there and people will be like, watch this or say this or do this. And as soon as you do it once, it's like, that's all you can do versus like.
Are you talking about when people comment and tell the streamer to do something?
Yeah.
That's like a pet peeve of mine.
That's like rough. Like, I don't know. Like as soon as you give into it, it's just, it leads your entire everything, man. Yeah.
It's funny because I'll be on live and people are like, what they'll say, like do like a flex or whatever. And I'm like, I'll literally call it out. I'm like, bro, what do you think this is? Like, I'm not finna just flex because you told me to flex. Yeah. Like, I don't know. That's so weird.
Dance.
But then again, there's people that's, kind of what they know. Have you seen the guy was live while we were at the gym. But have you seen those like live accounts that's like literally
the NPC thing, bro?
Yeah, NPC stuff. I don't know. I'm not.
Oh my god.
I mean, to each their own, man.
Yeah.
To each their own. Would you ever do something like that?
You catch me work at 7-Eleven before I do that, bro.
So what's next for you, man? I know the bodybuilding stuff, but is there any like short-term goals that you have?
I've been loving traveling a lot, man.
Yeah, you're telling me some of the stuff that you guys are.
It's just so fun. Yeah. It's so fun. Like jumping, it's such a blessing to be able to do this, to be able to just move around and just continue to do what we do. It helps our platform grow and stuff. We've been working on building our supplement company for the past few years, so that's just like a venture that's going on. Obviously, like I wouldn't say behind the scenes, but like I don't post a lot of the work that we're just doing on it behind the scenes. So that's something that's continuously growing. And then, I guess just continuing to work towards this goal of getting on stage. I don't talk about it a lot because I want to just.
You're a doer. Like you don't want to be.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I'll talk about it a bit on social media because that's like part of what I do. Like you talk about like, oh, I'm going to compete at this, but the back end like
gets kind of tiresome.
And it's just like I just want to just do it because I love it too.
Yeah. Are you gonna make like a series about you?
I think it'd be cool
and all that kind of stuff.
I think I was just debating doing like a bulking series, but then I'm just like, I don't know, maybe like
it's long. It's such a long process. It's been 9 months of bulking, right?
Yeah, it's been 9 months, and it's like nothing changes that drastically.
Yeah,
like week over week. It's not like it'd be cooler to be like, oh, this is me here, and then oh shit, now he's lost 25 pounds or gained 25 pounds. Like you're not gonna like post every single little like step that you take, because sometimes the step is going back to go forward, and it's like
it's almost like redundancy, and it just feels like you're just doing the same thing over and over again, which is the process. But content wise, you're just like, there's nothing new to really update, you know?
Yeah, it's just not good for platforms too, I don't think.
Yeah. Because like I feel like at a certain point, like the only person that could do that is Sam Sulek, bro. Like, but even with his stuff,
but he's making like crazy changes.
Yeah.
Like it's just, I don't know, it's just different.
I think also too, which maybe, I don't know if people have picked up on this, like it's almost like he's a podcast.
Yeah, 100%.
If you watch his content, honestly, because I didn't get it at first, because I remember I learned about Sam Sulek like months ago. They're like, oh, there's this guy on YouTube like killing it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, like what does he do? He's like, oh, he's just a bodybuilder. Like he works out and that's it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, like why is he popping like that? And they're like, we can't explain it.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me watch this guy's video. So I watched his videos, and the second I turned it on, I was like, I get it.
Yeah, like I don't get how people. I've heard people say like, well, I know just as much as him, or I there's so many guys that look better than. I'm like, that's not it.
No, that's not it. It's literally his ability, like you said, to talk and just like have like full blown conversations or like explain things for almost like an hour, and it just is so smooth. Yeah, I heard him talk, and I was like, I get it.
You know Bob Ross? He's like a painter, but it's like,
oh, okay,
that's literally what it's like.
Yeah,
it's exactly, he's the Bob Ross of the bodybuilding world.
Yeah,
because he's so fluent, and it's like almost, it's a calming, right? Like to hear someone slow down, especially with the nature of like, I think it's like the pendulum swings all the way like either side. Everything is so fast paced. What's going on YouTube?
Cuts. Yeah,
and just to hear someone just talk and just think like a normal human being, it's very relatable. He is smart, intelligent, like he has a degree of knowledge on everything that he's doing and stuff. So it's cool. I get it 100%. I get it.
Yeah, I think he's literally just, I mean, I don't know if he actively does this, but it's literally like a podcast that is like paraded as like a YouTube channel that's documenting his bodybuilding journey.
CPMs are probably crazy too.
His what? His DMs?
CPMs.
Oh, CPMs? Oh man, yeah. Oh my gosh. His viewer retention has to be crazy too, because his videos are just straight up like
it's like
30 minutes like at a time.
30 minutes to an hour, bro. Yeah.
You just watch it. And I found myself, I'm like, man, I'm about to start keeping up with this guy for real. I don't keep up with his content as much, but when I see a video, because he gets memed a lot, and it's just like literally just clips of him talking.
It's so good.
I always stop what I'm doing. I'm like, ooh, listen to what he has to say. It's crazy because he's like what, 20?
He's my age.
That man,
bro, that blows my mind. When I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, like that. What am I doing?
Shit, man. Like
he's
when
21, bro.
21 and that big and developed already.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming he's gonna do bodybuilding. Like
I think so. Like I don't even know if he's talked about his competition plans or anything.
Yeah, because he bulked and then he's
bulking, cutting. Like he's going through it like a normal bodybuilder would. It's just like, when does he step on stage?
Yeah. So you guys are just gonna be traveling for the next couple of months, or?
Yeah, we're probably gonna like chill a little bit during the holidays. Our family's gonna come down to Florida probably because they're close on the East Coast.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, and then
why the decision to come down to Florida instead of just like chilling in Canada?
Just because like we don't want to go back to Canada.
It's like, y'all, please come down.
Like you want to pick the weather between like 0 degrees and.
I feel that. Yeah, you're right. So just traveling and then stick around for the holidays, and then are you guys gonna be? You guys like really no plans to like really go back to Canada anytime soon? Just like travel?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we're gonna try to get a house here. Probably try to get citizenship eventually. But
how does that work with the passports and visas and stuff like that? Is it just
so it's a little bit different for us because we built like we had to invest. It's basically an investor's visa. So we built a U.S. business, invested like however much money into it, and then they
allow you to like have free. Okay, I got you. Yeah, one of my friends is on a work visa, and because like I think the limit's like 6 months at a time or something like that, or 3 months at a time.
From where?
He's in Colombia.
Okay.
So I think maybe, I don't know if the rules are different for each. Like,
it's probably, it's different for each place because like Canada, we can stay 6 months without any visas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But like other places, you need to get visas to even come to the States, right? So.
Yeah. Because I think it's like 90 days straight.
Yeah.
And then after 90 days where you got to go back.
Yeah.
A period of time and then come back. Yeah. But yeah, man, I enjoyed talking to you, bro. It's crazy because like we know each other. We know of each other, but like I actually haven't sat down and actually got to like figure out like, okay, like from point A to point B, who is Tristyn?
Mm-hmm. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. You're well-rounded, really grounded. It's more of the same what I originally thought when we first met. And I remember telling Duhon all the time, I was like, bro, that kid's a good kid, man. He's going to have a lot of cool stuff coming in the future.
And I'm glad we were able to actually connect. Because, like, last time it was like, I was like, I got to go say, like, what's up to Russell. Like, I've been following your stuff. And, like, we, like, obviously knew of each other. But, like, it's cool when you actually get to sit down and have a conversation with people. Or even, like, just, like, we're just lifting today. Like, it's just dope. It's cool. It's crazy. That's, like, the social media. There's a lot of negatives. But the one thing is that, like, you connect so many people.
Yeah, that's the positive part. Yeah, man. I was like excited. I was like, oh shit, like I didn't know he was coming into town or anything like that. So I was like, this is gonna be a good opportunity to have a conversation with him and touch base. So yeah, man. If you want to plug anything like your social media accounts or
sure, I mean it's basically just Tristyn Lee on everything.
It's pretty straightforward. It's literally just your name. So yeah, we'll have everything plugged into the descriptions and all that kind of stuff. Bro, thank you once again for coming on, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Keep killing it. Keep all your foundations the same. And bro, sky's the limit, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Hell yeah. But that's episode number 25 of the Better Take Podcast. I'm your host, Russell Worry, and that was Tristyn Lee. Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode. We'll catch you in the guys' next one. Peace.